Alright, hello everybody, my name is Sharon and I'll be talking about the extinction and endangerment of tigers. Of the original 9 species of tigers, 3 have become extinct in the last 80 years, just 80 years, an average of 1 every 20 years. It has been predicted that all tigers may become extinct in the wild within the next decade or 10 years. That's it. Poaching, habitat loss, fragmentation, they've reduced the global population of tigers from over 100,000 in the 1900s to less than 4,000 in the 1970s, only 70 years, and it's been cut down by, 96,000 tigers. 4 of the remaining subspecies are considered endangered, while the other 2 remaining are critically endangered. The total number of tigers in the wild is estimated to be between 3,000 to 3,600 tigers, a great decrease. In order to live in the wild, tigers need water to drink, animals to hunt, vegetation which to hide in, but the mountains, jungles, forests, the areas that they lived in have started to disappear, as well as the tigers do as well. Agricultural expansion, timber cutting, new roads, human settlement, industrial expansion, and hydroelectric dams have pushed the tigers into smaller and smaller areas of land. These forest fragments are surrounded by rapidly growing human populations. But without this wilderness, a wild tiger cannot survive. There is also a danger from humans because of threatened villagers, poisoning, shooting, killing the tigers, as well as poachers who kill them for their body parts and sell them off. To protect the tigers from poachers and the rapidly increasing loss of land, wildlife conservationists have worked with the governments to establish wildlife reserves, which are protected areas so the tigers can live without fear of dying because of unnatural causes. Most reserves, however, are isolated islands of forest, where the tiger has little chance to survive due to difficulty in meeting mates, threat of disease, genetic drift, inbreeding, and so all of these reasons have been causing them to die. Forest and wildlife departments are too understaffed as well and under-budgeted, so they can't save the tiger from poachers. Lacking organization, compensation, training, night patrols, recognition, resources, firearms lacking, they don't get enough of them, so they can't enforce these anti-hunting laws. The single greatest threat of extinction that looms over most Asian wildlife, especially the tiger, is the massive demands for traditional medicine. The use of tiger parts in Chinese medicine is nothing new, but it's only been in recently that people have been able to buy these expensive Chinese medicine because of the increase in the standard of living. More people can afford this, which means that there is a greater demand in tiger parts. It's also seen as a symbol of high status and wealth, so people are more likely to buy them, and the demand goes up as well. In addition, in recent years there's been a resurgence in traditional practices because of cultural pride, growing sentiment that Western medicine isn't good enough, that traditional medicine is better, and so the demand has been going up even quicker. The political and economic situation of tiger countries have also contributed to the tiger's demise. In 1959, the Chinese government said that the tiger was a pest, so they all supported eradication. Cambodia has been racked by decades of war, which further restricts the protection of the tiger. This legislation has banned hunting, but the staff employed to protect the tigers are often not legally empowered to enforce these laws. For example, they may be restricted from carrying guns or searching people for tigers, which means they can't protect themselves or the tigers. Also, the anti-hunting laws don't protect the tiger's prey, which means it leaves them open in a habitat without any food, so they'll die from starvation, which means they'll try to leave the reserves. Poor standards of living also leave some officials vulnerable to corruption. The tiger's increasing scarcity and rise in tiger parts offers greater incentive to poachers who bribe some officials to turn the other cheek. Improved national legislation and international support, when combined with the promotion of alternatives to traditional Chinese remedies and habitat protection, are a vital part of the strategy to save the tiger. Most conservationists agree that strong protection of wildlife reserves has been the key to endangered tiger survival so far. It is vital, however, that wildlife conservation and habitat protection are not isolated solutions, but an important part of a whole strategy. Habitat loss is only one part of this. As long as the demand and market for tiger parts continue to thrive, lives of tigers will be threatened. Economic and political circumstances within many of the tiger countries also require serious attention and international support to save these tigers. Thank you for listening to me.